Welcome to Kid Crafted Chronicles, the podcast where young imaginations take the spotlight. In this enchanting audio journey, the storytelling power is in the hands of our creative listeners. Kids like you send us their fantastic story ideas, and we turn them into thrilling episodes. Fasten your seatbelts because the adventures are about to begin. Hey there, friends. It's time for another exciting episode of our Bedtime Story podcast. Today's story was inspired by an incredible young adventurer named Bjorn, who's 8 years old and hails from the beautiful land of British Columbia. Now, let me tell you, Bjorn had a mystery in his life. Something that gave him the chills every time he opened the fridge. But what was it, you ask? Well, you'll just have to stay tuned to find out. Get ready for a thrilling and mysterious journey as we dive into Bjorn's tale. So, snuggle up in your cozy beds, and let's begin our magical adventure. Peter and the Haunted Pickle Jar. In a quiet suburban neighborhood where laughter and giggles filled the air, there lived a young boy named Peter. He was a 7-year-old with a wild imagination, always on the lookout for adventure. But there was one thing that sent shivers down his spine, something that lurked in the back of his fridge: the dreaded Haunted Pickle Jar. Every time Peter opened the fridge door, his eyes couldn't help but dart towards that ominous jar. It was not just any jar. It was a colossal glass jar, murky with age, radiating an eerie green glow. One would think it held a secret portal to another world. Auntie Mabel, Peter's loving and cheerful guardian, would chuckle at his fear. "Peter, dear, it's just a jar of pickles," she'd say, dismissing his anxiety with a warm smile. But to Peter, it was more than that. It was the embodiment of all his family's spooky tales and superstitions. One sunny morning, Peter resolved to confront his fear. He couldn't stand the uncertainty any longer. With a determined heart, he tiptoed to the fridge, his pulse racing in his chest. Slowly, he opened the door and gazed into the abyss of the fridge, his eyes locked onto the pickle jar. As he pulled out his camera to capture proof of the ghostly presence, an unexpected voice startled him. "Hey there, young fella." Peter's eyes widened, and he stumbled back, nearly dropping the camera. Did you just talk?" Out of the pickle jar popped a small green pickle, wearing a tiny top hat and holding a miniature cane. "The one and only. Name's Mr. Dill, at your service." Peter couldn't believe his eyes. "You're a talking pickle?" Mr. Dill gave an enthusiastic nod. "Indeed I am. And I've been guarding this pickle jar for generations." He explained that he was tasked with keeping the ghost inside the jar at bay. But over time, the ghost had grown restless and mischievous, giving rise to the spooky tales. Days turned into weeks as Peter and Mr. Dill teamed up to investigate the haunting further. Hidden beneath the pickle jar, they discovered an old family photograph. It depicted Peter's great-grandmother, a playful grin on her face, clutching the very same pickle jar. As the days passed, the ghost's pranks grew even more playful. It turned kitchen pots into bongo drums and made forks dance a merry jig on the dining table. Peter and Mr. Dill found themselves laughing along, realizing that the ghost probably meant no harm. However, as the neighborhood picnic day approached, Peter's anxiety began to rise. He feared the ghost's antics might ruin the event, and Auntie Mabel was growing increasingly skeptical. The day of the picnic arrived, and it was as sunny as can be. Families gathered in the park, eager to enjoy the day, but chaos ensued as the ghost pulled prank after prank. Sandwiches soared through the air, and watermelon slices danced as if possessed. He just didn't understand why his aunt had brought the pickle jar to begin with. Peter, Mr. Dill, and a newly ghost-aware Auntie Mabel decided it was time to confront the ghost. They gathered around the pickle jar, and, to their astonishment, the ghost emerged, floating like a shimmering green mist. The ghost explained that it had been lonely and wanted to experience the joy of picnics and laughter once more. It missed the warmth of human companionship. Together, they hatched a plan to help the ghost find peace and happiness. They organized a special picnic just for the ghost, filled with all its favorite treats, mostly pickles. As the ghost reveled in the festivities, something extraordinary happened. It began to change, becoming less transparent and more solid. At last, the ghost found peace, no longer trapped in the pickle jar. It thanked Peter, Mr. Dill, and Auntie Mabel for showing it the joy of friendship and laughter before fading away into the ether. The neighborhood picnic continued, now even more delightful than before, with laughter and joy filling the air. Auntie Mabel, her eyes twinkling with newfound wonder, and perhaps confusion over the talking pickle, realized the significance of what had transpired. Auntie Mabel turned to Peter with a loving smile and said, "Peter, my dear, you've shown us the incredible power of kindness, compassion, and the magic of friendship. Who would have known it would have come from a pickle jar?" With a sense of unity and warmth in their hearts, the neighborhood picnic continued, and the memory of that extraordinary day would forever be etched in their hearts, a testament to the remarkable adventures that life could offer when one dared to believe in the extraordinary. The end.
My name is Ben Moody, and I thank you for joining us on another magical journey through Kid-Crafted Chronicles. If you've been inspired by the wonderful stories spun by our young storytellers and want to submit your own idea for a story, we'd love to hear from you. Follow us on social media or visit our website at kidcraftedchronicles.com to share your imaginative tales and join our creative community. Your story may be written and featured on a future episode. Together, we'll keep the storytelling wonder alive.